Saturn in Aries looks bad only when Mars is in Cancer, only when Mars is in Scorpio, and only when Mars is in Pisces. Otherwise, Saturn in Aries is not at all a bad sign. We have many political leaders who have Saturn in the sign of Aries, well-known politicians. So remove this myth that Saturn in Aries is always bad. That is not right. Saturn in Aries can be difficult, can become difficult only if Mars is in Cancer, or if Mars is in Pisces, or if Mars is in Scorpio. Similarly, let us see what makes Saturn look bad when Saturn is in Taurus. Saturn in Taurus becomes difficult only when Venus is in Virgo, or when Venus is in Taurus, or when Venus is in Capricorn. Now let us see Saturn in Gemini. What makes Saturn in Gemini look bad? Saturn in Gemini becomes difficult for the native only when Mercury is in Pisces, Mercury is in Scorpio, and Mercury is in Cancer. Now let us see what makes Saturn look bad when Saturn is in Cancer sign. In Cancer, Saturn becomes difficult only when Moon is in Scorpio, when Moon is in the sign of Cancer with Saturn, and when Moon is in Pisces. Similarly, what makes Saturn look bad in the sign of Leo? Saturn becomes difficult in Leo when Sun is in the sign of Libra, Sun is in the sign of Gemini, and Sun is in the sign of Aquarius. Similarly, Saturn in Virgo becomes difficult when Mercury is in the sign of Pisces, or Mercury is in the sign of Scorpio, or Mercury is in the sign of Cancer. Saturn in Libra, although exalted, can become difficult if Venus is in Virgo, if Venus is in Capricorn, and if Venus is in Taurus. So Saturn in Libra is not always good. It all depends where exactly Venus is placed, in which sign, in which nakshatra. But that is a different subject which I will cover in later videos, in upcoming videos. So Saturn in Scorpio looks bad when Mars is in Cancer, when Mars is in Scorpio, and when Mars is in Pisces. Similarly, Saturn in Sagittarius looks bad when Jupiter is in Capricorn, when Jupiter is in Taurus, or when Jupiter is in Virgo. Similarly, Saturn in Aquarius looks bad when Saturn is placed in the nakshatra of Rahu and Jupiter, and Rahu is in Sagittarius, or Jupiter is in Capricorn. Similarly, Saturn in Capricorn looks bad when Saturn is in the nakshatra of Sun and Sun is in Libra, or when Saturn is in the nakshatra of Moon and Moon is in Scorpio, or if Saturn is in the nakshatra of Mars and Mars is in Cancer. So Saturn in Aquarius and Capricorn is also not always good. You have to see in which nakshatra they are placed, and the Lord of nakshatra is placed in which sign. Similarly, Saturn in Pisces can become difficult if Jupiter is in Capricorn, or if Jupiter is in Taurus, or if Jupiter is in Virgo. So you have to be very careful. Don't remain on the circumference. Dive in. Come to the roots. The first level of the root is the sign placement. The second level of the root is the nakshatra placement. The third level of the root is the sublord placement. Even if you can dive up to the third level, you can gain some truth, if not all. Enough for today. We'll catch up again. Till then, don't forget to meditate. Meditate. Spend some quality time with yourself. There are many people outside who may say 100 things about you, good or bad, but those things should not disturb you. You should be rooted within. So close your eyes and always meditate. 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening. This is all you have got, and time always flies by. It is always better to be late than to be never. Meditate.